if you can see the vision clear where you're trying to go, people won't take you serious. People will not take you serious. It's the way you approach them. In everything you do, it's your approach. You identify the issue, you apply the rule of law, you analyze, and then you conclude. All of that structurizes what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve. If there's no structure as to where you're trying to go or what you want to achieve, it's going to be a lot of miss exits. Brand yourself, make sure you're seen for how you want to be seen. Impose, demand for what you are worth. You have to demand for what you are worth. You can't say, I want 10,000 when you know you're worth 200 million. At least set the bar high. So if you're going to end somewhere, it will not be that far from that bar. Personal branding. This is the first time I've had to talk about it on request. I think I do a lot of it without knowing. Talking about the challenges, because I started as a model. I was very young when I started in 2009. I was a tomboy. When I say tomboy, you wouldn't see me wearing even an earring. I used to wear the baggies and the sneakers. I wanted to be a boy, but my life changed when a guy approached me. That's the first time I actually talked to a stranger. So I entertained it, and I found myself on the Miss Cameroon stage, and that's when I started winning pageants, and that's when I started believing in myself. So I'm like, okay, so this life isn't only about going to school, getting a degree, and getting a 9-to-5 job. I can really do this because, luckily for me, the pageants and the competitions didn't only change my life, but they changed my financial view of life. I could actually sponsor my own trip to the USA. I could actually get a passport for myself and pay for myself. Not that my parents couldn't afford, but at a young age, I just was that financially independent. I felt like I needed to do stuff for myself. How it happened is I became a miss. I traveled to the US in 2010. I studied all the law and legal studies. I worked as a paralegal at a law firm for 5 years. My whole life I worked. That's all I thought we had to do, work and pay bills, because that's what America tells you have to do. You're indebted to the country without even borrowing money from them. You have to work. Before the money hits your bank account, you already paid bills. That's when I started thinking, oh my God, I can't be in this rat race forever. I can't keep chasing this money 9 to 5 and doing something that my dad wanted me to do, become a lawyer, not really what I wanted to do. At that point, I hadn't even known what I wanted to do with my life. But before I traveled to the US, my dad told me, you're going by yourself. You've never left this house before to go anywhere. This is a long step. But I believe in you. You believe so much in yourself. Just your smile and the way you carry yourself, you will succeed. Just because my dad believed in me, that moral support. He didn't have to give me money to believe that sentence that he said to me, I believe in you, you will succeed. Just keep being you. We all need that moral support, and that's how I forged through being in the U.S. at a very early age. And you know, when you're in the U.S., you become the bank account for the family. Long story short, so that's how my discovery process just went through, and I was like, no, I don't want to keep on in this rat race. And I started coming home. I'm like, home is where it is. I started getting hired and paid to host events, because I MC as well. And I'm a presenter, so I get hired to do that stuff. I'm like, okay, this is what I love doing. I don't have to do too much. I just have to talk, and I get paid. Why do I have to wake up every day, 6 a.m., get stuck in traffic? By 5 o'clock, I'm coming home. I don't have help. I have to look for dinner for myself. And at the end of the day, the only money that's left in my bank account is to send back home to take care of my sick dad or my sister's school fees or something. I don't want to keep living this life. So I decided, I got discovered, and I discovered myself. Other people encouraged me and said, Nora, you can be an actress. You can do this. There are people that are doing it and not up to your standard. You can actually do it. It started by me. It was difficult at first for me to believe in myself, to believe that I can actually do it by just someone telling me. If you don't believe that you can actually do it, the whole world can sing it in your ear. It took me 3 years to realize that I can actually do it. And it was spontaneous, just like this event. Someone said, I have a role for you, show up. I showed up, and I did 2 scenes, and everyone said it was better than the whole movie. 2 scenes. I didn't think because I've achieved this, I've achieved that, I'm too big for 2 scenes. I said, if I have to get into this movie industry, I have to start from somewhere. Everyone started from somewhere, and they paid their dues, and they worked their way up. So I took my 2 scenes, and I gave it all I had. Just like that, I became an actress. I was like, wow, I can really do this. I came home, hosted a few events. I didn't know what to do. I was idle. I don't like the United States of America. I just feel like it drains you, and it's where I go to slave, to take care of me and to take care of my family. Why not be somewhere you're happy and do the little that you do and still be able to take care of everybody else, but at the end of the day, you're happy. So you have to really think of how it makes you feel doing what you're doing now and into the future, because it's just only one life there is to live. It was very hard for me to accept it. Once I accepted it, everything unfolded. I took the bold step. I contacted producers in Nigeria. I was in Cameroon at the moment. I don't know anything about Cameroon entertainment industry. I tried, but for some reason, it's a little closed off. So I decided, why end here? I can go elsewhere, or I can go on a bigger platform. So I contacted producers. Mind you, I don't think I'm the first. I know I'm not the first. I will not be the last person to send messages to these producers and say I want to be in a movie. It's the way you approach them. In everything you do, it's your approach. There's this, what I study in school in law is the rule of IRAC. You identify the issue, you apply the rule of law, you analyze, and then you conclude. All of that structurizes what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve. If there's no structure as to where you're trying to go or what you want to achieve, it's going to be a lot of miss-exit, around. If you can see the vision clear where you're trying to go, people won't take you serious. People will not take you serious. So the producer was like, have you ever acted before? I said, I've done 1 scene. I sent him a reel. He's like, that's not enough. You shouldn't show people that. He said, do a monologue. I don't know what the monologue is. I had to do research. I was with my mom here, Chantal, and my other mom, Auntie Doreen. They said, Nora, you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to dig deep. So we came up with an idea, and they shot a little monologue. And one day that asked me, I could have chosen to go home and sleep. I was very exhausted already. So I said, now that I'm exhausted, what do I do with this exhaustion? So I picked a monologue that required me to be sad, that required me to look washed, because I already look washed. You have to be smart about your decisions. Use your environment to mold what you're trying to achieve. At that moment, I felt that way, so I did a monologue I sent. They were impressed. 3 days later, I was in Nigeria on one of the biggest sets, acting alongside biggest names in Nollywood. Thank you. Just like that, you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, the way you see yourself is the way people will receive you. Like I always tell people, the distance you give is the distance you receive, because it's very clear. It's very clear. If I see you over there, you see me over here. There's no in between. So brand yourself. Make sure you're seen for how you want to be seen. Impose. I say impose because you don't come and say, well, I just want to do this thing. No, please just help me. Don't. If you have something to offer, I equally have something to offer. You cannot be in a movie by yourself. You need me to sell this movie, and you need me to make a whole cast in this movie. So demand for what you are worth. You have to demand for what you are worth. You can't say, I want 10,000 when you know you're worth 200 million. At least set the bar high. So if you're going to end somewhere, it will not be that far from that bar that you set high, because it's a challenge to yourself as well. It's like, okay, like right now we're talking about entrepreneurship. I'm trying to get into that because I believe that tomorrow, if I'm going to produce my own movies, it won't come from me working 9 to 5 in the USA. I can't do that back and forth. It won't work for me. So now I said, what can I do? There's a lucrative business going on now, skincare, cosmetic products. But how is it going? There's a lot of ladies who want to look light-skinned. For me, I want to stay dark skin. And we have this percentage of dark skinned ladies and guys that are not served, that don't have this opportunity or these products in the market that actually work for them. So I take it to myself. I said, I'm going to take my time and water this project so it can bloom the way I want it to bloom. And so far, I have been branding in a way that the product is not in the market yet. Only I know what's in it. Only I have seen it. Only I have used it. But the way I post every day on social media is actually too, as well as word of mouth. Today, I'm sure I'll make more impact on my brand by just talking to you guys than posting on Facebook. Yeah. Word of mouth today stands one of the greatest way to market yourself and to market your products. These producers would not have known anything about me if I had just posted on my Instagram and expect them to see it. I had to approach them and talk to them about me, and that's what they took and ran with. Believe me, they don't take what you don't give them. Nobody will take what you don't give, and you cannot give what you don't have. If you know you have it and you're confident about it, go out there and take it. Brand yourself, put yourself out there, and impose the image that you want people to see. Today, my products, I'm taking my time. People are like, Nora, hurry up, we can't wait for it. I don't want to hurry. I want something that works for dark-skinned people. I want something that works for people with natural skin that have not bleached. I don't want something that will affect you or change you, because I don't want it coming back to me and say, oh, you're not practicing what you preach, because I really adore the dark-skinned woman. I always tell people I am 5 shades of black. Believe me, I am. Every part of my body has a different color, different shade of black. I'm proud of it. It's hereditary. My dad has it. My sisters have it. I don't have to bleach my skin. That is throwing away my person. That's throwing away who I really am and throwing away my hereditary. But that's not the point. I'm just saying. Okay. So brand yourself. Give people what you want them to see. What you show them is what they see. If I walk in here and say, oh, I'm Miss Cameroon, I don't need to wear a crown. Maybe the way I carry myself, the way I talk to you from my experience and everything, you are forced to see that crown. It's not there physically, but you see it. Like, this girl has walked this walk. Now she's talking it. And my aim has always been to attach meaning to everything I do. As an entrepreneur, if you want to sell baskets, if you want to sell just brooms, or you want to sell bonbon, you have to understand that, okay, as a child, I had to go to the forest to harvest this palm tree, to make my own brooms and stuff. Now I feel like there's an easy way that I can do it and have people buy it for cheaper rather than go to the bush and risk getting bit by snakes and risk getting sick and end up spending more money than they would have just buying that broom in the market for 50 francs. So it's all about imposing, branding yourself, and attach meaning to everything you do, because that is what will carry your passion. That's what carries my passion, because I feel like I'm an advocate for dark-skinned ladies who want to stay the way they are and not change that person because the society perceives that a lighter-skinned lady is more beautiful than a dark-skinned lady, or that because you have one dark spot in your face, you have to bleach your whole body to feel beautiful. No. That's who you are. So stay true to yourself. Well, stay true to yourself, and most importantly, let passion drive whatever you do. If you attach meaning to anything you do, you will want to make it work. There's no room for failure, because you feel like you're letting yourself down and you're letting whoever believes in that movement of your entrepreneurship or your business down. So, yeah, set yourself up for success. That's what I do. I rant about everything I do because I'm like, oh, if I don't do it now, people are going to say this, they're going to say that. It's a setup to myself. Well, life is how you see it, is how you receive it, and how you tell yourself that I want to go forward, I want to achieve this, and I want to achieve that. Life is hard everywhere. There's nowhere in this world you will go that doesn't have setbacks, that doesn't have hard times. Like I mentioned, getting tuition paid in the US is a problem. After that, you have to pay taxes, and you pay maybe 20 years of interest on that. Life is hard that way, because after that school, you've paid your tuition, you will slave for them, trying to pay back the government. At the end of the day, you still don't have money in your bank account. Life is hard everywhere. Everywhere has challenges. Take those challenges and use it to your advantage. The fact that you know what challenges are going on in this society gives you an upper hand on how you can do better or how you can walk in the other direction. So educate yourself on the difficulties in what you face in the society so you can move the other direction and empower yourself. Thank you.